All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning to our guest speakers who are also online. As I'll introduce them briefly as well. We're excited to have this webinar to learn more about how to stay safe online, what it means to use the internet. With the introduction of AI now all over, how do we stay safe amidst this all AI editions that are coming out? How do we use AI effectively for our studies? How do we avoid cyberbullying, and how do we even involve ourselves in cyberbullying? Because the internet is a wonderful place for everyone. We come there to explore, learn, connect, and do a lot of things. But then there are people who also come there for their own personal benefits. So to start with today's, I'll welcome our Chief of Advocacy and Communications, Fatima Naeem Mohammed, to welcome us for today's event and walk us through what UNICEF is and what programs we offer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ben, and welcome to the few people that joined. I think more and more people will be joining us soon, and please let your friends know that this is happening now, and I know we've shared it also in the group. We have a great lineup, and this is a very good opportunity for you to know more about internet safety. So I just want to welcome you all to our Safer Internet webinar. It's great to see you all. And we're here because, Ben already touched on that, but I'll repeat. We're here because the internet should be a space for all of us to learn, create, and connect without fear. And all of that should be done in a safe environment. So our session today, we are doing it to empower you with all the needed tools to help you navigate the digital world safely and confidently. So for those that are new to UNICEF, if you haven't engaged with us before, we operate in over 190 countries with one simple mission: to protect the rights of every child and young person. And in Ghana, we have different programs, for example, child protection. It's all about building systems to keep you safe from violence and exploitation, both offline and online. And we have the water and sanitation hygiene team. We have the health and nutrition team. We have the education team that focuses on ensuring every young person has access to quality learning and digital literacy, amongst other things. And we also do youth engagement and participation, creating safe spaces where young voices can influence national policy and speak to those in power. So to those that have showed up today, I just want to say thank you. It's very important to have you here, and your engagement is very vital. So we hope that after today, whatever that you're taking from this space today, that you will share it with your colleagues, your friends, and continue. And I also want to say a big thank you for our child protection team, Joyce, for their tireless work in ensuring every young person has a safety net. And I also want to say a big thank you and welcome to our education team, Eric, for making the digital literacy a priority for all Ghanaian students. And I know he will be focusing on the use of AI. And I also want to say thank you to the Ghana Cybersecurity Authority for providing the expertise and framework to keep our digital borders secure. And I know Ben is going to touch on that, but if you aren't already a U reporter, you're really missing out, because this is an opportunity. It's a great tool that gives you access to everyone, and it's a good way for you to use your power to influence and change directly, influence the change and speak directly to decision makers. It's a free tool, and it's an anonymous tool, and it lets you share your opinion on issues like climate change, health, and online safety. And it takes less than a minute to sign up. And I know Ben is going to share with you exactly how you can be part of the community and how you can keep the conversation going. So over to Ben, and for all of you, let's keep this conversation honest, and let's keep the energy high, and let's enjoy the webinar. So thank you. You're mute, Ben. Ben, you're still
Sorry,
mute.
thank you. Can you hear me? Thank you.
We can hear.
Okay, great. So, so I would like to talk to you about your report. As Fatima said, we have a lot of youthful programs that we are running, and one of it is your reports, which is for young people. Please, sorry. Uh, please, a minute. All right. So, what is your report? Your report is UNICEF Digital Community for Young People, led by young people. Ads you can use to raise their awareness and share opinions on topics that matter to them. So young people use this to able to amplify their voices for leaders around the world, even in Ghana, your government leaders, politicians to hear about what they need to share with them. And across 90 countries, UNICEF, as you report there, that empowers young people to learn about issues that affect them, to take action and become part of the change they want to see. And we use this U report to get attention of decision makers, to inform leaders about issues that concern young people, or what young people want government to focus on. We get opinions of young people in real time to amplify those opinions. So it can be an issue that is, it just pop up maybe today or last month or something that young people want to talk, or they are talking about it. So we prompt the government officials or the government agencies to have a look at it so that they can engage with the respective groups so that that issue can be resolved or can be looked at so that it can be incorporated in our policies or our programs that we run. We also use your report to foster positive change. We use it to encourage citizen engagements as well. So we do a lot of things with this report tool, and it's a very great tool. And part of the things that we have done even in the past and we want to do this year going forward is that we had a VNR report. The VNR report was a report that we did with the National Development Planning Commission last year, where we look at the progress that Ghana has done with the SDGs. The SDGs is the Sustainable Development Goals. They are goals set by the UN to ensure that every country meets a particular target. So there are indicators in there that you have to look at. And Ghana was part of the countries that had a presentation at the UN Assembly in New York, where they spoke about the progress that they have done. And part of the speech or the presentation that was made to the world leaders over there had you reports feedback from Ghana. Young people in there shared their views with us. We added it to the presentation that the government official who is representing Ghana to present on behalf of young people. And we're proud of it that young people out there have also out their opinion about how the SDG can go a long way to able to help Ghana and how Ghana is doing or faring with the SDGs. We've done this polls with young people in different sectors, from education to child protection to SBC to vaccines. We've able to engage with young people to understand what vaccines means to them, why maybe there are misconceptions about vaccines and what they need to do to take charge, and why it's important for them to be vaccinated. We've done a lot of posts, and these are few that I can share. We also use the report to do a lot of advocacy changes, policy changes, where we've engaged with people out there to able to change their perspective about things. And one of the things that we did last year was the breastfeeding campaign, where we went out there to speak to people about breastfeeding, exclusive breastfeeding, and what are the things that they do to able to keep their babies healthy and grow to the required age where they introduce different foods to the baby. And it was interesting and insightful. And some people were also able to learn from what we are telling them, that exclusive breastfeeding matters as well. They should be able to breastfeed their babies for 6 months exclusively without water or food or anything. And it was eye-opener where people actually said, oh, thank you for sharing. I'm going to inform my parents about this. I'm going to tell my brother or my sister about this so that their babies will be breastfed exclusively. And a lot of changes have gone and still going, and no, it's constant. We've used your reports in different scenarios and in different countries too. They have used your reports. In Ukraine, they use your reports to get perspective of students on reforming their education system, education for life policy, and ongoing reforms. It's used reports in Ecuador to able to get young people's perspective on climate change, which was submitted to the National Commission and the UN Commission on Climate Change as well. In Zimbabwe, young people have used reports to be able to submit to the National Symposium attended by governments where they share things. In Ghana, we also did one with government officials during the AFI work where former First Lady, some Honorable His Excellency Samira had a program where he created for climate change for children and young people, where we convened a lot of people from different parts of Africa to that place where we shared things around climate that affect young people and children. And we did a poll, and we had 5 EU reporters who were selected to come on stage to do the presentation on behalf of all EU reporters. And it was very exciting. It was very exciting to see young people sharing their voices and being part of this event where young leaders and world leaders were there as well. And we had comments from even in the room where 2 presidents stood up to say they are really excited about this from young people. He is going to take this feedback back to his country, and that's how your report can go. In Serbia, we've done a consultative processes in different government institutions to ensure that the frameworks are aligned to national youth strategy. And as I said, Ghana, we've done a lot of things and we still continue to do. So one of the things that we can do is to become a youth reporter is to send join to 1755. So you can take up your phones and send join to 1755 now. All right. So how many people have been able to register by sending join to 1755? The second one is that you can send join to your report on Facebook Messenger. So when you go to Facebook Messenger, look for UREP Ghana and send join in the chat. So like you're chatting, so you just send join and the chatbot will reply with you. It will ask you to go through a series of registration where you are asked certain questions. The questions are needed for segregation of data, and we are not going to take your numbers and track who you are. Everything is authenticated. We don't see who is sending what, so everything is in line. So please just send me the join on Facebook Messenger. SMS, go to SMS to send join to 1755. And on WhatsApp, you can save the number that is on your screen now. So open your contacts and add +233 59691 3175 to your phone contacts. Then when you open your WhatsApp, you go to the chats area, then you send join to it. Or you can scan. If you're able to scan, if you're using a laptop, you can scan the QR code over there to join the platform. I know there are some hands up. I will answer your questions very soon. Okay, so tomorrow is Safer Internet Day, but we are having our webinar today just to learn more. But as part of it, we want to hear from you what you think about the internet and learn from what we've gathered, the resources that we gathered about how to safely use the internet and how AI affects us. So if you have registered, go to the channel that you registered through. If it's SMS, go to the SMS, open send to 1755, then send SID 26 to 1755. on all networks. We've paid for the sending and the receiving. So you just have to send and you get the prompt and you're not going to pay for it. On WhatsApp, with the number saved, go to the chat, send join to SID26 to be able to do that. And on Messenger, just you can on Messenger, you can use this URL to go to the Messenger directly, or you can go to Facebook Messenger, look for Europe Ghana, and send SID26 to it. And it will activate the poll for you to take. We are on all these channels. So you can follow us, UNICEF Ghana and UNICEF Facebook, UNICEF at UNICEF Ghana, Instagram at UNICEF Ghana, TikTok at UNICEF Ghana, YouTube at UNICEF Ghana, and X at UNICEF Ghana. On LinkedIn too, you find us over there as UNICEF Ghana. And our website, as we'll be talking about more about internet safety and all those things, we have to also let you know our website, which is www.unicef.org/Ghana. You have to be very mindful of this because people put S or .com to pretend it's UNICEF, it's come from UNICEF, but it's not coming from UNICEF. So we have to be very careful and know our website so that if there are information or job you want to apply or something, you know where to go to. On our Eureport website, you can just type ghana.eureport.in to turn into the Eureport website. And on Facebook, we have the Europe Ghana, and our poll results will be published, especially the SID will be published on the Ghana Reports opinions over there. All right, so just to get, I'll come in at the later part to answer your opinions, but I would like to introduce the speakers in so that once we are done, if you have any questions on your report, I can come in and also answer your questions for you. So I would like to introduce our first speaker, who is Eric Balanta, Education Officer from UNICEF Ghana. He will be speaking to us about responsible use of AI for learning, work, cyberbullying in schools, and digital literacy. So Eric, if you are here, we welcome you to talk to us about AI. Thank you.
Good. Please confirm if you can hear me. Good morning, everyone.
Yes, we can hear you. Good morning.
And then let me use this opportunity to thank Fatima and the entire advocacy and the comms team for giving all of us the opportunity to. We are not here to learn anything new, but we are here to remind ourselves of most of the things that we are familiar with, but sometimes we tend to gloss over it because probably we assume that everybody will do the right thing. But the focus of my presentation will be on to look at some of the things that we can do to stay safe online and also be responsive and responsible when we are online, knowing that others are also using the same space with a particular focus on children. So I have a presentation that I want to share. I don't know if you can you confirm if you can see my slides? Okay, so this will be the order of my presentation. The focus will be to highlight more on UNICEF's work when it comes to digital education and learning. I also talk about responsible use of AI in learning and also in the world of work. We'll also look at some tips regarding how we can safely navigate the online space without going through cyberbullying. We'll also talk about some digital literacy and how it's even relevant for whatever we do. On this note, let me indicate that UNICEF's work is to make sure that, especially when it comes to the education space, to work with governments. We also work with tech companies. We also work with ministries of education and all other partners. So if you see the highlighted partners, you can safely add you reporters and whichever organization that you are representing. In the area of education, and let me say that we work just like other speakers have already mentioned. We are working towards the achievement of SDGs, specifically inclusive, equitable, quality education, whilst also ensuring that we are promoting lifelong learning. So no matter where you find yourself, whether in school or out school, we have interventions that are supporting to make sure that at least children are able to meet their educational needs. But specific to digital learning, these are some of the interventions that we are implementing within the education space as UNICEF. One of the areas that our work really interface with the internet or online is the area of policy and then legal frameworks. Currently, we are working with the Ministry of Education and other partners to implement the Safe School policy. We also have the ICT and education policy. In terms of digital platforms, we have the Learning Passport. I'm sure most of you might have heard about it. If you haven't, you can explore that. We have a lot of resources, and later I will draw the linkage between these online platforms and how we can ensure safe learning environment for our children. We are also creating awareness when it comes to the space. One of awareness and education. One of the ways that we are doing that is through our digital literacy package that goes to not only inform learners or children about how to be digitally aware and safe online, but also parents and other stakeholders. The last but not least of our interventions is to anchor most of these interventions with evidence. And I'm happy to see that my colleague Joyce is online. We work collaboratively with our child protection unit to make sure that we generate evidence through the Global Case Online survey that was done a few years ago. Now, narrowing down on why we are meeting today, and as Ben indicated, we are having this session or this discussion to be able to use whatever knowledge or resources that we have tomorrow so that we also talk to others regarding safer internet and then how we can use AI responsibly. As you can see, the focus has always been the fact that many children and young people either interact, use or interface with internet. And statistics from the International Telecommunication Unit indicates that over 74% of the world's population use internet, and that's close to like 6 billion internet usage globally. In terms of time spent online, and I'm sure that will also put in perspective some of the things that we'll be discussing later, we spend close to between 2.5 hours daily online, either learning, seeking for information, or using data. So this really drums home why we need to take this day very important in terms of how some of the skills that we need and also some of the knowledge that we need to be able to navigate the internet space without any finding ourselves in the hands of any threats or anything that will go against why we are staying online. Especially with digital technology, one of the things that we are encouraging is to make sure that we are using technology responsibly, respecting others who are also online, and also making sure that we minimize risk as much as possible. So the next slides will be looking at some of the things that we can do to minimize risk. Now, talking about the responsible use of AI, and I'm sure I can, even with anecdotal evidence, we can say that about 99% of the people who are online have heard about AI. This presentation is not looking at the technical aspect of what AI is and what AI is not, but we are looking at with the AI tools that we already have, especially those that are related to education. How do we make sure that they are used fairly, they are reliable, they are safe, and they also provide privacy and security, and above all, they ensure inclusivity. So in looking at AI in general, at any point in time, even if you forget anything, remember all these 6 principles. The fact that AI should be used fairly, it should be reliable in terms of whatever information that you are using. If you are not sure, make sure you cross-check. And you also make sure that you ensure privacy and security whilst ensuring inclusivity. Now, to talk about AI use in learning or for learning, and I want to emphasize that in this particular space, I'm talking about learning not just in the classroom, but all learning spaces. So at UNICEF, we encourage that whatever AI tool that you are using, we are considering it for both in school and also out of school, because we are looking at the holistic development of the child, no matter where the child finds him or herself. So we are saying that some of the things that we need to look at when we are using AI for learning and assessment is to make sure that AI serves as a companion, but not a replacement for human learning. We are also saying that we should verify whatever information that we get online. And at this point, as the presentation is going on, I'll suggest that if you know of any AI tool apart from ChatGTP, and I know a lot of people will not be happy with me, just type it in the chat box, and then later we'll talk about it. Any AI tool at all that you are familiar with that you can use it for learning. But as I was saying, make sure that you verify the information before you use it. Even in instances where you are not so sure, there are other ways that you can triangulate the information that you get using AI. What it means is that don't take every information that you see online, hook, line, and sinker, but make sure that you verify. Another very important way of using AI is also making sure that you use it for drafting and then brainstorming. In this particular instance, I'm talking about not just using AI to develop or to do the assignment, the entire assignment, but at least it can give you with the right prompt, you'll be able to get some leads as to what you're supposed to do. I'm also fascinated by the fact that in using AI, we are also encouraging that you make attribution, just like it's done in any scholarly work. Your references, your sources that you use, make sure that at least at the minimum, you are recognizing and then acknowledging the sources that you are using. And last but not least is the fact that just like we are talking about AI, we are also making sure that we are not replacing humans with AI. In learning, in every learning process, we are also talking about the cognitive. We are also talking about some of the aspects, the core competencies that we expect from every learner. One of them is critical thinking, collaboration, and all that. So if you are using AI, make sure that the AI do not replace all these other core competencies that we expect our learners to exhibit. Having spoken about AI, I want us to look at some of the key pointers to look at as we encourage learners and young adults to stay online and learn. And one of the things that has, over the period, become very prominent, and I'm sure our colleagues from child protection would throw more light on it, but I just want to focus on when it comes to staying online and learning. Previously, when we spoke about bullying, we were just in a classroom environment. I'm sure most of you can relate to bullying. Probably, for want of a better expression, was just limited to the use of words and other things that were probably not the scope was not that huge. But in relation to cyberbullying and also tech facilitated violence, there are some things that we believe that even as we encourage AI use and other emerging technologies, we should look at and then make sure that we avoid or we take steps to mitigate the risk. One of them is deepfake images. As I know, most of you have instances of or examples of where images have been used wrongly, one, to embarrass, or sometimes to actually abuse a child or a young person based on the use of AI. AI has also been used in some instances in voice cloning, and I'm sure we have several examples of that. There are also instances where videos, either for learning purposes or for other social purposes, are edited. They are edited wrongly to make sure that it portrays the beneficiary or the primary focus, in this case, the child or the young adult, in a very negative way. And the last but not least is the use of chatbots for harassment and other messages that are not child friendly. In all this, one of the things that we need to highlight is the need to build digital skills. Once, and Fatima mentioned this, once you have digital literacy, what it means is that you are empowered and you have the skills to be able to navigate the online space without all these risks. And even if the risk exists, you are able to have the knowledge to be able to mitigate against all these. And digital literacy, as we all know, refers to the ability to use these tools, the digital tools, effectively, and also understand online information critically. So here the focus is not only on the technology, but also how do you make sure that beyond the technology, you also have the skills, the online space, the practices, the best practices, the things that the do's and don'ts of the online space and all that, to be able to make sure that at least you're able to navigate the online space even as you learn. And these are some of the key things to look out for when we are talking about digital literacy and how it will help you as a young adult or as a child. In this case, I cited examples because I knew we'll be talking to you reporters. So I segregated them into what will help you if you're a student and also in the world of work. And these are some of the examples from academic success all the way to avoiding misinformation and also making sure that within the digital space, you are a responsible digital citizen. So responsible use of digital resources are very important. And it also, if you have very good digital literacy, it also helps in combating cyber bullying and then making sure that at least you are prepared very well. The last thing that I want to highlight, which I've bulleted, is the issue of digital footprints. And at this point, let me say that whatever we do, I think unlike grammar, that's probably if you see delete, you will take the meaning of delete means it will not be done. In the digital world, delete is rather the opposite. Whatever you delete it still remains online and it could be used either for your benefit or against you. So I'm admonishing everybody to be careful of what we put out there in terms of our online engagement, and especially when it comes to children, so that at least even as we encourage online learning for children, no matter where they find themselves, we are also making sure that our digital footprints are not in a manner that will harm the child. And even as you reporters, how do we make sure that we encourage and then we promote digitally safe environment for all children as we prepare for a safer internet day tomorrow. These are some of the additional resources that are available for us. We have some online courses that are available on Microsoft Learn on using AI to learn. We also have other resources that are specifically designed towards making sure that children are protected and they are guaranteed their rights even as they access education. So on this note, let me thank all of you for availing yourself for this session and also agreeing to be part of the process of making our online space safe for our children across the world, and specifically the children in Ghana, even as we work towards making sure that every child has the right to education. Thank you, and then open to questions if there are any. Over to you, Ben.
All right, thank you very much, Eric, for this insightful section. Um, so please, the audience, we invite 3 questions to Eric so that he can answer before he leaves. So if you have a question, you can unmute and say, or you can just raise up your hand and we can unmute you. Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yes.
Faustina, we can hear you.
Okay, so great presentation. I just wanted to find out something. So how are we engaging parents in all of this so that, these days there's a trend where parents are happily handing over these electronic gadgets to their children because I think it's fancy and it's nice. So once parents can afford it, they hand it over to their children. And fortunately, unfortunately, some of these parents do not even know how to deal with maybe restricting certain sites and all of that. Or the fact that some apps are not age appropriate for their children. So for instance, you see a child that is maybe 8 years, 9 years, and if you ask them about some of the apps that they use, they would just say, so Facebook, WhatsApp, and all of these things. So how are we engaging parents at that level so that when parents are aware, if they know about these things, then of course, when I'm handing over the phone or a tablet to my child, I would have activated the, what do you call it, restrictions and all of that. And I would talk to my child and say, so for this and that reason, you are not allowed to download this app. Because these days, it looks like they are just waiting for the Wi-Fi and then they go about downloading all these apps. I mean, how are we working at that? Thank you.
Thank you. Ben, would you want me to take it individually or you put the questions together and then I'll answer them? Also acknowledging that my colleague Joyce is online for any of these questions on. Ben, would you want me to go ahead?
I think Ben is having technical problems. Eric, in the interest of time, I think let's go ahead and then we move to the next presenter, which
Sure.
is Joyce, and then we can always revert back if people have any further questions, if that's okay.
Okay,
Thank you. Over to you.
that's okay with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so just to highlight that, yes, in the presentation, I acknowledge the fact that we work collaboratively with our child protection units. We also work with government partners, but specifically regarding parents, we have tools and also IEC material that are developed specifically towards awareness creation using community platforms and also established platform within the communities. I think the challenge of device use among learners, even in school, has always come up when it comes to what extent do you allow access to some content that are not child friendly or child age appropriate. But like I said, it's an ongoing conversation, but we have currently in education, we have the Safe School policy. We also have the digital literacy package that goes to parents in terms of some of the things to look out for and the support that they can provide for children, even as we promote home-based learning. But like I said, in terms of some of the specific child protection initiatives, my colleague Joyce probably in her presentation will address them. Thank you, and over to you, Fatima.
Thank you very much for a very interesting presentation. And I think now we are ready to go to our next speaker. We have our colleague Joyce from the Child Protection Team. Thank you so much for joining us, Joyce. Over to you.
And thank you, Fatima, the comms team, and participants who have joined online. Please confirm if you can hear me. Okay. I'm trying. Okay, all right. I don't know whether I have the right to share my presentation, but I don't think it's allowing me because it's grayed out.
Okay. Give me 1 second. You should be able to, but give me 1 second and I will share it.
Okay.
Okay. 1 minute. internet is a little bit slow.
Yeah.
Oh, can you give me access? It's hold on 1 second. Okay, I can see it now. All right, so I will now share my screen. Okay, do you see my screen now?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
All right. So, thank you for this opportunity. My presentation would focus on UNICEF's work in protecting children from online harms. And so the scope of the presentation would cover children's rights in the digital age and understanding the kind of risks and harms that are confronting children within the digital space. And we'll talk a little bit about cyberbullying and our work in keeping children safe online. So, as Fatima highlighted in the introduction session of the webinar, UNICEF is mandated by the UN Assembly to advocate for the protection of the rights of children. And this is to enable them have enjoy all the opportunities and reach their fullest potential. And so the rights of children has been enshrined in the UNCRC, that is the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, which covers the entirety of the human rights that children are entitled to, and again also recognizing the unique status of children. And as we may know, the convention is one of the most widely ratified human rights treaty. And we are always very proud to say that Ghana is the first country to ratify this convention. In the year 2021, to ensure that children really enjoy their rights within the digital space, the UN issued a general comment number 25, which offers guidance and also um, provides more details on how countries can support the rights of children within the digital space. And so when we talk about the rights of children within the digital space, even though the UNCRC does not specifically mention these things, there are some of the rights that the technology helps children to enjoy. For instance, when we take article number 12 of the UNCRC, it talks about children's participation in issues that affect them. And we believe that the digital space enables this and the realization of this particular rights. It also talks about the right to privacy, the right to information, which the digital space facilitates the enjoyment of these rights for children. And so we want to also look at what are some of the benefits or how the internet promotes the rights of children. For instance, it can help them to innovate, create solutions to social issues, and demand accountability from the government. Because when Ben was talking about U reports, it gives us the opportunity to share our opinions on things that are happening and how we want it to happen as young people. And it also help young people to access job opportunities, because these days most jobs are advertised online. So imagine if you are a young person and you don't have access to these things, getting access to these opportunities may be limited. And Eric also spoke about access to education, using AI schools, access to information, and even giving you the opportunity to express your opinion or communicate with others. So you could see that the digital space offers a lot of opportunities for young people and children. However, just as it offers a lot of opportunities, young people are also confronted with risk when it comes to the use of the digital space. And I would like to briefly highlight some of the key findings from the Global Kids Online study. It was a study that was commissioned by UNICEF in 2017, and the report was launched in 2018. And it talks about the kind of risks and opportunities that young people are confronted with in Ghana when it comes to the use of the internet. And one of the key findings was that 3 in 10 children have experienced something that bothered or upset them while they were online. And again, the same report also indicated that 4 in 10 children have seen some sexual images while they were online. That is, they were exposed to inappropriate content. And one of the important findings that is very relevant for the U reporters is that 5 in 10 children who have experienced issues or things that upset them or bothered them while they are online would like to talk to a friend or a peer of the same age. In fact, about only 1% or 2% said they would talk to their parents or siblings. So majority of them uh, said they would rather confide in their peers and friends, and that is what makes you reporters very relevant to also have the appropriate information so that when your peers get in touch with you with some of these challenges, you may be able to support them positively. So now going back to the risks that children are confronted with when they are online, we have content risk. That is their exposure to illegal material like violence, pornographic content, hate speech, misinformation, or disinformation. So content risks are really is real for young people who use the internet. Again, we also have conduct risks in terms of how young people conduct themselves while they are online. For instance, they can also be perpetrators of violence um, or demonstrating harmful behaviors like cyberbullying, harassment, and what have you. Again, they can also experience, so they can either be a victim or they will be those demonstrating those behaviors whilst online. So those are the conduct risks. And then we have contact risks. Some people target children for grooming for sexual purposes, or they target children through the internet to recruit them for inappropriate activities like the use of children by armed groups and what have you. So pedophiles and other bad people also carry their negative behaviors online and target children. And so those are some of the contact risks that children are exposed to. And then the last but not the least is contract risks, because children are treated as consumers while they're online. And so some um, 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 commercials or manipulative information may be targeting them as consumers online. So these are the kind of summary of the kind of risks that children are exposed to while they are online. Now I would want to zoom in a little bit on cyberbullying. I know my colleague Eric touched on it, so I'll quickly go through that, and then we will continue the discussion. So when we talk about cyberbullying, it is bullying via digital technologies. So people can use the social media, messaging, gaming, phones, and other digital tools to bully people. And the key features of cyberbullying is that it is repeated, it is intentional and sometimes demonstrates some power imbalance. And the most worrying aspect is that it leaves a digital footprint. What Eric spoke about, like whatever goes online stays there forever. No matter how you delete, it may be present on other devices or other networks. And sometimes it also occurs together with the face-to-face bullying. I mean, we were very much, aware of the bullying that's happened offline, but sometimes what's happened offline is also carried over to online, and then the perpetration of cyberbullying continues. And sometimes the perpetrators may also be victims. They might have experienced similar experiencing, and they are also passing it on to others. And evidence also shows some gender dimensions, like the kind of cyberbullying that girls or females may experience may sometimes be slightly different from what their male colleagues may experience. Most of the time, the female gender experience bullying that attacks their physical, how they look physically, and sometimes also project them in a way that looks so sexual and inappropriate. So how does it manifest? In the form, it manifests itself in the form of harassment, where you constantly receive messages that you are not comfortable with. It also sometimes manifests itself in the form of exclusion, like people isolating their colleagues from maybe a platform, or isolating them just for them to feel very bad. Impersonation is also one, and doxing, where people intentionally look for information about it and use your personal information inappropriately. And image abuse, somebody can take your head or your face and then use it in a way that is not appropriate. Sometimes platforms, the design of certain platform or the way it operates can enable targeting and also speed up the spread of the bad information or the information about you that you are not comfortable with, that makes you feel bullied. And anonymity, people hide behind the fact that they cannot be seen to perpetrate this kind of abuse towards their friends and colleagues. And the issue of the permanence, that whatever people do online against you sometimes stays there forever. And so this also increased the severity of how the victims feel about it. And these digital technologies also amplify the harm, because it can go to, the information can go viral and a lot of people can access it within the shortest possible time. So looking at all this, one may ask, what is UNICEF and partners doing to address some of these harms that children experience or young people experience while online? And so the latter part of this presentation will highlight the key actions that UNICEF, together with our partners, are working towards to ensure that children use, or young people use, the digital space safely. Um, we support the government to create an enabling legal and policy environment to ensure that we have laws and policies that support the safe use of the digital space by young people. And so in 2020, UNICEF supported the government to pass the Cybersecurity Act 1038. And this act has provisions specifically addressing some of the issues that or challenges that young people face online. So with very strong punitive measures for offenders of some of these things. I think my colleague from the Cybersecurity Authority will be able to throw more light on some of the provisions in this act. We also supported the development of the Child Online Protection Framework, which also ensures that all key stakeholders across sectors play their role to ensure that children and young people are able to access the digital space safely. And so, among other things, UNICEF is also working together with our partners across different sectors, addressing different components of the risks that children are exposed to when they are online. So, for instance, to support law enforcement, UNICEF supported the establishment of the Child Protection Digital Forensic Lab in 2020, just to ensure that the cyber crime unit is equipped to be able to do investigations, tech facilitated um, child sexual exploitation and abuse and other cyber crimes so that they'll be able to bring perpetrators to book. Beyond that, we have also built the capacity of the Department of Social Welfare and Community Development so that they are also better equipped when they are implementing their activities, when they are managing cases, the child online protection cases involving online or tech facilitated violence are adequately also addressed through the integrated social services approach, which enable them to also work with other sectors to address all forms of violence against children, including tech facilitated violence that we are talking about. And also we work with the Department of Children and other key stakeholders to implement a social drive we call the Ghanaians Against Child Abuse. I believe most of you have heard about this drive. We don't want to call it a campaign because it is something that we are working with all key stakeholders until every child in Ghana is, protected from all forms of abuse. So GACA uses multiple communication channels to raise awareness about different forms of violence that Ghanaian children are exposed to, including the kind of violence that they are exposed to when they are online, including the use of the community facilitation child protection toolkit to engage different target audiences on this particular subject. So if you go to all the districts, about 210 districts out of the 260 plus districts that we have in Ghana, district social welfare and community development and other key stakeholders like NCCE, GES have been trained on how to use this child protection toolkit to engage parents, young people, traditional leaders, and what have you on all forms of violence, including tech facilitated violence. And Eric spoke about the digital literacy package, which UNICEF supported the Ministry of Education and GES to develop to also act as resources that can be used to support the education of children whilst they are in school, and even parents and caregivers on how to support their children to use the digital space safely. And currently, we are also developing a parenting strategy to support parents and caregivers to prevent and respond to violence, including tech facilitated child sexual exploitation and abuse. And we are also working with the industry, like the telecommunication companies, on how to prevent and tackle tech facilitated child sexual exploitation and abuse. And this guidelines was just validated last week. So this week we are going to have a workshop with all the industry players on what they can do to also protect children while they are online. And I think at this stage I'll end my presentation highlighting that UNICEF is working across all sectors with our stakeholders to ensure that children and young people are able to access the digital space, and more importantly, use it safely to advance their goals in life. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'll be on standby for any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much, Joyce, and please accept my sincere apologies. I was having internet issues, so I know the presentation was not shared properly. So I'll try to leave it on the last slide so people can read it. So thank you so much. And if anyone has any question, please raise your hand and unmute yourself, ask the question, or you can also add it into the chat for Joyce or even Eric to answer. We have one more presenter and before we wrap up. Okay, any questions? No. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Abdul Samad Musa, please unmute yourself.
Okay, good afternoon.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Abdul Musa. Please, is it any system that whether government or UNICEF can put in place so that if a child is taking any electronic example like mobile phone or a laptop, a tablet to access internet, so that then they will put some restriction that their child cannot have access to certain content and videos in that internet space, or even don't have access to scammers don't have access to a child, so that there won't be any harm on a child, or some of these the social or internet or social media violence against child can reduce or can be stopped. If such system can be put in place, I think it will be better. So that if a child just take a phone or a computer to have access to internet, certain things may be what? May be stopped. She can have access to certain videos, certain news, certain things. And some people also can have access to that child, maybe a scammer or something. Those who bullying them, they don't have access to it. Apart from learning purpose, the child can access other things. I think if we put such system in place, I think we will achieve our goal. Thank you.
Thank you. Fatima, should I go ahead and respond, or we will listen to a couple more before?
I don't see more hands. So I think in the interest of time, let's go ahead and does anyone else have any question? Because we have one more speaker. Let me just go through to see if there's any more hands. No, there are no more hands. Please, Joyce, go ahead.
Okay, let me briefly respond to this. And thank you for the concerns that you have raised. Indeed, most parents, when we engage them, also bring about this concern. I think the internet is a very difficult space to regulate. And that's why we are working with our industry partners on how they can also include safety by design in some of the products that they bring out. In our engagement with parents, we also raise awareness on how they can also have some parental controls in the devices that they hand over to their children. But more importantly, it is very appropriate that before we even hand over devices to our children, we take them through some of these risks and things. Restriction may help, but I mean, it cannot solve all the problem, because as you restrict on one network, the child can access it on another network. Even if you take the phone from the child can access information on another device. So continuous engagement and support is the way to go. However, we are also working with our industry players to see how they can also play their role in terms of how they can bring out products that supports children positively whilst they are online. I think maybe our colleague from the cybersecurity, if they are online, they'll be able to throw more light about what we are doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joyce. And this brings us to our next and last speaker, Mr. Nelson Harold Darko from the Cybersecurity Authority. Thank you so much for joining us, and please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I think you were expecting Nelson to do the presentation, but you heard a different voice. Yes, I asked Jael to do it on my behalf, so that I also join an important for elsewhere. So she's capable to do it. Whatever you need, she will give it to you. So I'll be on standby with her as well. Thank you.
Please, as I mentioned, my name is Jael and I'm with the Cybersecurity Authority. I work at the Child Online Protection Unit. So the Cybersecurity Authority has been mandated by the Cybersecurity Act, Section 4G of the Act, to promote the protection of children online. And it's with this mandate that we ensure that Ghana's digital space is safe and secure for children. Now, Madam Joyce has highlighted most of the risk children face, especially in Ghana. I'll just run through them and we can go ahead to talk about the various provisions in the Act that protect children. So currently, the internet is a basic need for every child now. Now, when every child wakes up, the very first thing they would want to do is take their phone and check what is going on social media before they even think of what to eat during the day and what to plan their day. But now the internet, now they would say that if you confine someone in a room and then there's no internet, the person wouldn't be comfortable. So the internet is now a basic need for us. Now, the various risks children face online has been categorized into 4 C's, which is content, contact, conduct, and commercial. So I'll talk about the content. So content basically is the inappropriate content that is available to children online. So now you don't have to actually subscribe to a particular page to see a lot of inappropriate content. Now, these inappropriate content is readily available for children. People would say that now you can't scroll through social media without coming across a particular inappropriate content online. Now, this is one risk which is highly common here in Ghana. Now, the second C, which is contact. So contact is basically children come across a lot of bullies or people who groom or seek to abuse them online. So there are lots of bullies and groomers online who harass and then make the lives of children on social media uncomfortable. Now, I would like to speak a bit more about some of the online grooming, examples of the online grooming. So with now social media driving the country, a lot of children tend to accept friend requests from people they do not know. Friend requests from people they have never met before, they have no information from them. So we go on awareness creation and you would ask a child, how many followers do you have on social media? And a child would say, I have about 1.5 thousand followers on social media. You can go ahead and ask the child that, okay, this 1.5 thousand children followers you have, how many of them are truly your friends? And this child will tell you that about 10 or 5 of them are just my friends. Now, what these groomers do is they tend to add children on social media, then groom them first. They build an online relationship with them. So you have someone who would say that I have a friend, my best friend is online. What's your friend's name? The person will tell you the name of your friend. Okay, what school? We've not had this conversation up to that point yet, but yes, so they call that they are friends. So what they do is they build an online relationship with these young people. They trick them and pressure them into doing something sexual, something inappropriate. And this is one risk which is common here in Ghana. We also sometimes these strangers ensure that they build an emotional connection with children. So it gets to a point in time whereby parents would say that I'm advising my child not to do this, but then my child would say that I have to go and find out from my online best friend. And this is someone they do not know at all. I'll move on to the third risk, which is conduct. I always say that conduct is how we behave on the internet. So children tend to act certain way on social media just so they can be popular, if I should say. In our current social media trend, we've noticed that the quickest way to be popular or the quickest way for people to become social media influencers is acting certain ways which is inappropriate on the internet. And with conduct to children tend to share so much information that is not relevant. So you go on a person's social media page and you can find out that this child updates periodically where she goes to school, what she even had for dinner, where her parents work, who her friends are. She updates all this information on social media. Research conducted shows that a lot of kidnappers use this approach in order to gather more information from children, and then they tend to kidnap them. Now, the very last, okay, also on conduct, I also speak about cyberbullying, for which Madam Joyce has already made mention of. A lot of children are bullied online. We went to a school and one child informed us that she totally dropped out of school because she was bullied and she couldn't handle the pressure from the bullying. There's been a point whereby people even want to commit suicide because of bullying. Okay, so I'll speak of another risk, which is sextortion. And this is two words put together, which is sexting and extortion. Now, our young ladies here in Ghana are usually victims to such risk. And this is the approach in which it's done. So someone, they will tend to add a total stranger online or in a particular group, and they have conversations. From conversations, it's surprising to note that people start to have a relationship after meeting the person in less than 3 days. So they would be in a relationship, and from being in this relationship, they tend to request inappropriate images from the child. And in the name of love, our dear young ladies also share these pictures. After sharing these pictures and videos, sometimes a strange number would text requesting for a huge amount of money or requesting for an amount of money, or sometimes the person would request for sex. So I'm citing an example of a case we are handling here at the Cybersecurity Authority. So this is a girl, a young girl, she's 16 years in a city here in Ghana. She became friends with someone. They met through a group chat. So in Ghana, they have a lot of in schools forming groups and then having conversations. So she met this guy from this group. And after 3 days, the guy proposed that they should be in a relationship. And after 3 days, the girl said she was in love with the guy. So due to that, they began their relationship. After a week, the guy, they were having a video call, And then the guy said, okay, so I miss you. Can you take a video of yourself and send it to me in your nightwear? And she also went ahead to do it. Now, after doing it, the guy went on to request that, okay, I think I've seen you in your nightwear. You look very good. Can you go ahead and share a video without clothes? The young lady also went ahead to do it. So after doing it, she was there, and then a very strange number texted her saying that I have your nude pictures, and that if you don't come and meet me at this hotel, I'm going to have sex. If you don't come and meet me at this hotel, I'm going to release these videos on the internet. Now, she was wondering how a total stranger would get access to these videos, because she only knows that it's just one person she shared these videos with. So she went ahead to confront her boyfriend. And her boyfriend stated that no, he hasn't shared the video with anybody. So she went ahead, met this stranger in a hotel in Accra, and the guy had sex with her. Now, after a month, another number texted her again, requesting that she comes over so that they have sex. And she then confided in her best friend, and her best friend said, oh, a group of people came to our school for an awareness creation and informed that if we have or we face any form of this challenge, we can call them. So they called the Cybersecurity Authority, and we started our various investigations. Investigation is still ongoing, but then the truth of the matter is currently it's not the boyfriend who leaked those videos. So the boyfriend's best friend got access to the guy's phone and then took the videos and kept it and then was blackmailing the young girl. So this is an example of sextortion here in Ghana. I will talk briefly about the very last risk, which is commercial. So we have noticed that now these groomers have moved from social media and they are grooming our young ones using the various means they have access to. An example is Roblox. So we have an incident whereby a total stranger went on to have conversations with a young boy and was actually nurturing the boy into something that the society frowns upon. So this is also one risk that children face here in Ghana. I will move on to the Cybersecurity Act. So in Ghana, we have provisions in the Act that protect children. And this can be found in section 62 to 68 of the Cybersecurity Act, Act 1038. So in section 62, it talks about indecent image or photograph of a child. So anybody who takes, who produces, who procures, who streams, who publish, or even possess an inappropriate image of a child is liable to not less than 5 years imprisonment and not more than 10 years, or sometimes both can be applied. In section 63 of the Act, which talks about dealing with a child for the purpose of sexual abuse. So this is also a criminal offense, and once it could be sentenced to less than 5 years in prison and not more than 15 years. Now, in section 64, which talks about aiding and abetting of a child dealing for the purpose of sexual abuse, that also has a term of imprisonment of not less than 5 years and not more than 15 years. We'll move to section 65, which talks about cyber stalking of a child. So with that, the term imprisonment is 5 years and not more than 15 years as well. Now, sextortion, which is really common here in Ghana, the charge is less than 10 years imprisonment and not more than 25 years imprisonment. Section 67 speaks about non-consensual sharing of an intimate image. And with that, it's less than 1 year, not more than 3 years. And Section 8 talks about threats to distribute prohibited intimate or visual recording of a child, which is 1 year and not more than 3 years. And these are the various provisions here in Ghana that protect children. It's on the internet, so you can access it and you can read intensively from Section 62 to 68 of the Cybersecurity Act. There are instances whereby an offender has threatened to post these non-consensual images of a child and also sexually extorting the child. So most cases, the trial is done together. So my very last slide, I will talk to you about how best to stay safe on the internet. And this is to say that we have to stay safe by not giving out personal information to people you do not know. And we use this usually in our awareness creation campaigns, informing children to be very smart. And this SMART is from an acronym we have put together here at the Cybersecurity Authority. So as I was saying, the S stands for stay safe online by not giving out your personal information to people you do not know. The internet doesn't need all the information we post on the internet. The M stands for meeting up. So do not meet up strangers or do not meet up someone you've been in touch online in person. And this is also actually common here in Ghana. Once you go to our various malls here, it is said that a lot of people are there to meet people they have never met before. And that's the very first time they are meeting up with them. So when you go to the Accra Mall, you tap someone and you ask, what are you come to buy? The person is not come to buy anything or not going to watch a movie. The person is there to meet up a stranger. The A stands for accepting files. Don't accept files, messages, pictures, and friend requests from strangers. It can cause a lot of problems to you. The R stands for reliable. It's not all information on the internet that is reliable. You have to ensure that you know the source of this information before you go ahead to use it. And the T stands for tell a trusted adult. So in case a child faces any form of challenge on the internet, the child should be able to tell a trusted adult or a teacher or a parent so that a person can assist. Here at the Cybersecurity Authority, we receive cybersecurity incidents and you can call us. We have our various points of contact in which you can call once a child faces any form of challenge on the internet. And these points of contact include call, text, WhatsApp, an online form, and also our mobile app. So you can call the Cybersecurity Authority on 292. It's a very simple number, 292. We operate every day, every hour. It's 24/7. At any point in time, once you call, there is someone who can assist you. So it's free of charge. So you can call if you face any form of challenge. You can also text the 292. Also, if you face any form of challenge online. We have our WhatsApp number, which is 050-160-3111. I'll take it again, just in case you're taking notes. So 050-160-3111. You can also go on our cybersecurity website. There's an online form there whereby you can report any incidents you face. Or send us an email at report@csa.gov.gh. But one that is so easy that you can go out and spread the news in order for children to feel comfortable to receive to report any incident is 292. So at this juncture, I'll bring my brief presentation to an end and I'll take questions if we have.
Thank you so much, Jael. This was very, very interesting and it was scary at the same time. And I'm speaking as the mother of a teenage child. It's a scary world out there, and but it was very helpful. And I think it would be great, if possible, if you can write in the comment section, because I believe these numbers are important, and also the address that you just shared, and we can also get it from Joyce. But it would be great if participants can copy it. Does anyone have a question? Please raise your hand, or you can also write it in the comment section and unmute yourself, please. Pearl, please go ahead, unmute yourself and speak. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon. So please, my question is, with this case, the case you gave of the girl that was being blackmailed for sex with the images, it has it reached a point where there has been some justice meted out? And if in the case of reportage or reporting to the Cybersecurity Authority, is there anything that is done actually? Have you reached a case where you've been able to solve it and then take the person to court? Please, that's my question.
Okay,
With you, Jael.
Okay, all right. Yes, there's an instances whereby we have successful cases. So one of them is whereby someone was blackmailing a person just because they got access to her inappropriate images. So with that, the person was sentenced to 12 years in prison, and the 10 years was for sextortion, and then the extra 2 years was also for sharing, threatening to share inappropriate image. And with that, the judge said he was actually very lenient, and that was because the person didn't have information about the Cybersecurity Act and then the various punitive measures in it. And so that's why the person got that charge. But instances whereby the person was privy to that, then the person would have got more sentence. So yes, we have successful cases based on the Cybersecurity Act.
Thank you very much. Does anyone else have any more questions? Let me see if there's any hand raised. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing those numbers. For everyone, you can see it in the comment. You can text or call 292 if you face or if you know anyone else that faces any challenges or online and you want to report an incident. And then you can also WhatsApp 050-1603-111. Please take those numbers down. And tomorrow we have a school storming activation where our EU reporters are going to be going to different school campuses, and they will be asking students if they have experienced any form of online violence or harassment. So I think to have those numbers and to share the information that the different presenters, especially Jared from the Cybersecurity Authority, I think this is very important. And I think Raf is going to come in just to speak about tomorrow's activation. But before we do that, and because we're supposed to wrap up in 1 minute, but we're running over just for a few minutes. How you can join the activation? First, we need to be a EU reporter. So we can go back to the presentation. I'm not sure if Ben is still online. We will show you how you can actually become a EU reporter. It's very simple. There's a number that you just need to text, and then you follow the steps and become a EU reporter. Once you become a EU reporter, and you can go to different universities, ideally the ones that you attend to. We don't want you to go, we can't just turn up at schools. So it has to be a university or a school that you're already in. And you have to kind of let the team know, Ben and the team, that you are going to be doing this, because you need to also have permission from the school authority. But the purpose of this is to really just ask the questions about young people's experiences online, and for us to also share with them the different existing tools. And I think it would be good if Jael, please go ahead.
Okay, so I think I forgot to ask. practice. So you can find us on our various social media applications, and we update our social media with social media advisories. So once you're going out, you can read some content on our various social media applications. So we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on TikTok, we're on LinkedIn. So please do also follow the Cybersecurity Authority on these pages, and then you can read content so that when you go out, you have more information to give. And once you post, you can also tag the Cybersecurity Authority. Thank you.
That's fantastic. And it's good to know that there are existing laws and things do move, because we know globally victims are always scared to report because they feel that they can get victimized, and sometimes things don't move. So it's good to know that things do move here in Ghana. And I think this is an important message for the young people attending today to share with the young people that they will be speaking with tomorrow. So my question is, it's more of a comment. It would be great if each speaker, and I'll start with you, Jael, now knowing that tomorrow we will have this, because tomorrow is the Global Internet, Safer Internet Day. What we spoke about the rights and responsibilities that we have and how to navigate the internet safely, and what are the existing laws, specifically when it comes to children. And children are anyone who is under the age of 18. That is how they are identified globally. And in Ghana, according to the law, they are under 18. So the question is, if each presenter can say, now we have young people that will be going out to start this activation, but in general, what role can young people play in combating violence online against children, specifically children who are under the age of 18? What advice can you give them? So if you can just give us like one advice each, that would be great. Over to you. And we'll start with you, Jaya.
Okay, so I would say that before you click, you have to be smart, based on the acronym I mentioned earlier. So the S is staying safe online by not giving too much information to people you do not know and also on the internet. And the M standing for meeting up, don't meet up strangers. It could lead you into trouble. And the A is don't accept friend requests and pictures and videos from people you do not know. The R standing for reliable. It's not every information you come across on the internet is reliable. So do well to consult a trusted adult. And then the T is in case you face any form of challenge. And it doesn't have to be maybe when you have a risk, that's when you tell a trusted adult. But if you've come across something on the internet, you're not so sure, you would always want to verify. So do well to tell a trusted adult so that a trusted adult can assist you. So before you click, you have to be very, very smart. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this really excellent advice. And now over to you, Joyce.
Okay, thank you. I think Jael has summarized everything, but one message I have for young people is that the internet never forgets. So whatever you put there, your digital footprints will be there forever. And so they should be mindful when they are engaging online. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And this is very, very true. The internet does not forget. Anything we put out there will come to haunt us 10 years later, 20 years later. It stays there, even if you delete it. So it's important to remember that. And last but not least, Eric, I believe you're still with us. Eric, are you still online? Yeah. Okay. I think Eric is... Okay, so you're online. Okay, but Ben is here. And now I'm going to hand it over to Ben to speak about the activation tomorrow. And I can see that online we already have, for the colleagues that were asking about how to join the activation, first become a U reporter. And if you go to any university or a school after getting all the approvals, you can send those videos asking those questions. And before you ask those questions, as you know, you need to, because we spoke about it before, consent. You cannot film or take photos of anyone under the age of 18 without their consent and their parents' consent. And if you go to a school, just make sure that you get the consent from them directly and also from the head mistress, because we will not be using any video if we don't have those consent. And the consent we can share with you the consent forms. And you can tag us, not tag us, send it directly into our direct messages across all of our social media platforms. But please make sure that those you speak to, and we're targeting university, so make sure that you get their consent. And you can also film them saying that it is okay for me to be on camera, since it's video anyways. All right, so over to you, Ben, and thank you so much for today. We are slightly over time, but we'll be wrapping up in the next 5 minutes. I just want to say thank you so much for our speakers. Thank you for Cybersecurity Authority, Jael, and also thank you so much for our colleague Joyce from the Child Protection team and Eric from the Education team. Thank you, and thank you so much for Ben for organizing this and the team working behind the scene. So over to you, Ben, and thank you.
All right, Fatima, thank you very much. So for tomorrow events, and doesn't end for tomorrow. I know a lot of people might have work or school or lecture, so we can activate it tomorrow, Wednesday, and we throughout the week to weekend. And if you are going to a school, let us know which school or which campus you want to be doing over there, so that any support that you need, whether technical support, you need some resource, you can reach out to me to able to see how best I can support you. So let us know where you are going. Take photos, as Fatima said, ask for consent, ask for permission. Please, I want to take photos for purpose of sharing online, talking about you being part of the Safer Internet Day. Use the hashtag SID2026 as the hashtag, and you can use hashtag YouReportGhana as well, so that we can amplify it from our pages as well. We urge you that once you talk to people, you can take some few pictures, you can do a post and tag UNICEF Ghana on all channels, so that we can amplify it at our end there. With the knowledge received today, go out there, speak to people about how they can stay safe online, the use of AI responsibly, and how people can avoid bullying, online, and let people know who are in those areas that they are not treating young people fair, and there are a lot of issues they are causing, but they need to put a stop to it. So with that, I know most of you have your contacts. Some people were asking whether it can be done on the streets. Yes, any corner you feel you are comfortable in doing that space, whether in the church, whether in the mosque, whether in the community center, whether in the school, whether in an area, your neighborhood, that you can gather young people together to talk about safer, how to stay safe, how to browse online, how to use the internet in the right way. That'll be very good. Just bash me about it and let's have a chat over it. So I'll drop my number in the chat. So if you aim to do activation tomorrow, so that you can see which resources, what help that you need. There's a hands up. So you can mute and ask your question before we end the session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Please, I want to ask them this section was recorded. With the video we sent for those of us who couldn't join from the beginning?
Okay, great. Okay, so those who registered through the email platform, we have your emails. We can send it to you after the section so that you can have access to the recording. If you don't have your email, you can drop your email in the chat. So there on the call, there's a chat area. Go there, type your email and drop it over there. Then I'll pick it and add it to the email that I'll be sending out, so they can have access to the full recording, so that I can make reference to it. Some people said they are not able to access their SID26. I don't know the network. I know sometimes there's network issues, but let us know which network you are facing the challenge on, and we will see how best we can support you to have the poll done on your phone. So there are different channels. So if SMS is giving you issue, you can go through the WhatsApp route. If the WhatsApp route is also giving you issue, you can let me know. Then I'll see how best we can fix it. We have three channels. So the WhatsApp, SMS, and Facebook Messenger. So any of them will work. If in case one platform is not working, another platform will work. But let me know which platforms are not working so that we can work on the technical issues. Thank you. So any more questions before we end the session?
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Yes, we are saying bye. So I'll drop my email. My team, I have Flint, I have Raf. Fatima is also available to support. You can send us an email if you need any support, any resource. We'll reach out to you through our email. I also drop my phone number. You can give me a call after the session to see how best we can organize a safer internet day at your various locations to find yourself. Those in Tamale, you can also do this activation at your various locations as well. All right, thank you, Fatima. So I think we are um, Gloria. Oh, okay.
Hello, good afternoon. Please, it's my first time here, although I'm part of the WhatsApp group. So I would want to ask if anyone is ready for the activation. I want to go with a person. I'm Madina.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's Mandina.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
so we'll drop where UNICEF teams will be going as well, so that you can join the team to have it. So as I said,
All right.
anyone who is going anywhere, let us know the location where you will be doing activation. As Gloria, people will also like to join different teams to go with them. So if you are championing any um outreach in your location or community, you can drop it in the group so that people will also join. I'll share a link to the WhatsApp. Those in Accra can join the Accra link. Those in Tamale can also join the WhatsApp platform on Tamale, so that if anything, you can let us know over there so that I can have a comprehensive chat. So I'm going to drop the WhatsApp links in the chat so that you can have access to it. I think there's another person who wanted. Yeah, thank you. Okay, Ibrahim, please ask a question.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ben. Thank you
Yeah,
so
good
much for the
afternoon.
wonderful presentation. I hope I'm edible. All right, thank you so much. So, some of us had intention with who want to take the initiative to visit ACHS. We've already spoke with the headmasters and therefore agreed to it. We want to know if that is allowed for us to go ahead with the arrangement with the school to have such initiative there.
Yes, that is good. Let us know the details, which school, who the headmaster is, and the contact person, so that if anything, you can reach out. But let us know the plan that you have for the day, what to be talking to them about it. And let us know the location too. Because if you are closer, I think one of us can pass by to say hello or to see how you are organizing it or you are championing this thing by yourself as young people as well. I'll be happy to even pass by if I have time. Thank you.
All right, sure. Thank you. I'll reach out. Thank you.
So yes, I'll drop the WhatsApp links in the chat. I'm sure after this call you have access to the chat still. If not, quickly dropping my WhatsApp my number, so that
All right.
you can we can all join the WhatsApp platform for the Safer Internet Day activation. Any more questions? Okay. All right. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining. We are grateful that you took time off your busy schedules to be part of us, to learn, to share, to explore. and we are excited that this week will be very fruitful for everyone. We all go out there and talk to people, especially young people and children, about how to stay safe online, and try to minimize the harm that is caused online, especially in Ghana. Thank you very much, and all the best. Bye.
Thank you.